Well, hello everybody, welcome to Jeff's baking blog. Today I'm going to be making some lemon squares. This is a nice shortbread base with a lovely lemon topping, and then sprinkled with some icing sugar after they've completely cooled down. So for the ingredients, we have 225 grams of softened unsalted butter, and we have 100 grams of caster sugar, 255 grams of plain flour, and a pinch of salt. I'm just going to sprinkle that pinch of salt in to the butter. Now you could use, I suppose, slightly salted butter, then you wouldn't need the pinch of salt. I also have, for the topping, 6 large eggs. That would be extra large in the USA. I have 250 grams of caster sugar, 240 milliliters, that's a cup of lemon juice. I have the zest from 3 lemons, that actually weighs about 8 grams, and I have 128 grams of plain flour. So first of all, we'll make the shortbread biscuit, and for that we're going to beat the eggs, the salt and the sugar together until it's nice and creamy. And then I'm going to scrape down the sides, and I'm going to add the flour, and I'm going to beat the flour on a low speed just until it's all combined with the butter and sugar. So that's come together quite nicely. And so we have to put that into a pan to bake. Now I have got my pan ready. So here I have a 9-inch by 13-inch baking tin, which I have lined with aluminium foil. You could use parchment paper, you could do it without, but I find if you want to take it out for cutting, it's easier to do that with the pan lined. So we'll put our dough into the pan, and then we're going to flatten it and spread it until it completely covers the bottom. Right, so I've spread the dough out into our tin, and we've got that at sort of a fairly level thickness all the way through. What I'm going to do now is to put that in the fridge and chill it for 15 minutes. And while it's chilling, I'm going to heat my oven to 180 Celsius or 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. Then I'm going to take this out of the fridge, put it into the oven and bake it for between 15 to 20 minutes until it's turning a nice golden brown and beginning to shrink away from the edges a little bit. Then I'm going to take it out and let it cool down, and as it cools down we'll get on to make the filling. So I'll be back to show you how to make the filling as the biscuit base cools down. I'm back with you, and my biscuit base is out of the oven and it's cooled down, and it's baked quite nicely. So I'll set that aside and we'll get on to making the topping. So for that I'm going to put my 6 large eggs into a bowl, and that would be extra large as I said in the USA, and I'm going to add into that my 250 grams of caster sugar, and I'm going to mix that together. So with the eggs and sugar mixed, I'm going to add in my lemon zest, and my 240 millilitres of lemon juice. I'm going to mix those together. And then I'm gradually going to add the flour. And I want to do it gradually so that I can try to eliminate any lumps. So this is the last of my 128 grams of flour. And it's the flour together with the eggs which are going to allow the lemon topping to set up nicely. So you just whisk that until you can be sure there are no lumps to be seen. And then we'll take the base and we'll pour the lemon topping over the base. Now the oven is still on, preheated as it was before. And I'm going to place this into the oven. It's 180 Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And I'm going to bake this for 30 to 35 minutes until I can see that it's set. If I jiggle the pan, there might just be a very slight wobble, but it will be set and I can take it out and allow it to cool. And it has to cool down completely before we do anything else. So I'll be back with you when it's cooled down and show you what we do next. So I took our lemon square bake out of the oven, and I've let it cool down, and I've begun to cut it into squares, and then I've sprinkled some icing sugar on the top. So I'll just show you what I did. So I cut it in half, and then I cut this half into 12 pieces, and just with a sharp knife press down. And what I do is, with a jug of hot water, I just wipe the knife each time. And then cut into roughly even sized squares if you can. And that's it. And then take some icing sugar and just sprinkle it over the top. And there you have it. So this recipe will make 2 dozen, and we'll have a taste. So as you can see, got a nice thick layer of lemon, and the top, when it bakes, the flour rises and forms a very light crust, and we've got the lovely crispy buttery shortbread underneath. That's very good indeed. So that really is lovely. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up, and also click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on to go to my blog and see the full recipe, and I will also put a link below this video to that recipe, and I will be back with you with something different in a few days time. So until then, happy baking.